Awesome sister. So basically, you guys got the floor time video, and then what happened?
Well, the funny thing about it is looking back at that experience after going through Sunrise.
Yeah. And just so people know, you guys have been doing Sunrise. About after 2 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
After the diagnosis?
Right.
Okay. Hi, Charlie. Can you say hi to everybody?
Say hi. Say Florida.
So after about 2 years, you guys started doing Sunrise.
Right.
Okay, and so what did you guys see?
Well,
And if you guys aren't familiar with Sunrise, that's the Autism Treatment Center of America.
Right.
And you can go to autismtreatment.org to find more about that.
Yes.
But, so what did you guys see when you first started that?
well, patty cake,
Cake,
patty cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake
As
fast as you can.
Roll it.
Up, roll
Roll 'em
up.
up.
Put 'em in the pan. Yay! They're both so cute. So obviously you've seen some changes since doing Sunrise.
Yes.
So what are the biggest changes you've seen?
The verbal
And eye contact.
and the eye
Spontaneous
contact.
eye contact.
Spontaneous eye contact.
And really meaningful eye contact.
Yeah.
Like it's
And you
there, you know.
Charlie, you seem so happy.
Malty?
Yes, you seem very happy. She seems extremely happy.
You're being silly.
So now where is he today from where you first started? Patty cake.
Patty cake,
He hit himself with a
patty
string.
cake, baker's man.
Bake
Bake
me.
me a cake
He's
as
watching.
fast as you can.
Roll it.
up,
Roll it up.
Put it in the pan. Yay! So what people don't understand is we get so excited when our children, because we waited so many years for
Right.
our kids to look at us and talk to us. And so when they do that, we have to stop anything we're doing because nothing else we're doing is more important than that.
Right.
Yeah. So, so basically, where is he today from where he was?
Well, he talks with us. Well, not with us, but I mean, he lets me know what he's wanting, and I mean, if he has ouchie, he'll even tell me ouchie. And I mean, I've said that to other moms with kids with autism, and I didn't think it was that big a deal, but they're like, oh
That's
my
a huge
gosh,
deal.
he tells you he's got ouchie. I'm like, yeah. And I talked with the nurse one time at the doctor's office. She's like, my 14-year-old is nonverbal. She's like, I never get anything if he's hurting. And so I mean, I guess now I'm like, whoa, he tells me ouchie. And
That's
but,
a big deal.
But I mean, he seems more with us.
Yeah.
It's,
Yes.
He's doing his thing, but he's with us.
Now, have you
He's
guys-
aware of us.
Well, have you changed from when he first got the diagnosis? Like, because you were scared in the beginning,
Yeah.
I imagine, right?
Yeah.
So where are you at today with it?
I'm okay with it. I mean,
Yeah.
and as far as me changing, I mean, I've learned so many things about foods and supplements, and just I feel like I've definitely broadened my horizons, and it's almost like it kind of got me out of my safe little shell and made me learn new things, and just learn about the kids and the disorder, and just embrace it all and learn more about
So
it.
are you doing supplements, biomedical things, diets?
Well, yeah, the gluten-free, casein-free diet, supplements like Saccharomyces boulardii, and
So probiotics,
probiotics,
omegas,
the
maybe?
omegas, enzymes,
Enzymes.
and a
Multivitamin.
Multi.
Yeah.
I think that's it. We were doing
Calcium
the
supplement.
B12 injections. That was kind of scary, but we may go back to that. But yeah, I mean, just learning about all those things, and of course using Sunrise, and just learning about occupational therapy and speech therapy.
And
Just
how to put the whole team together.
Right.
And if Sunrise, they just won Best Therapy Tool
Yes.
for Autism One,
Yes.
2011, which is huge, right? And so now, Charlie, did you know you know, sweetheart, that you already need a therapy that just won best therapy tool. So that's pretty cool, right?
You're like
And
the
so,
luckiest kid in the world.
well, you know, and if the viewers that are watching, you may or may not know, I also do the Sunrise. I've done the Sunrise program. I'm still doing a version of the Sunrise program. We started in '04 with my son. He had no language. He's 9. He's a little older than Charlie. And now he's talking, you know, in sentences. He's learning to read and write. And again, it's just one of those things you just, you know, it's like the turtle in the hare I always talk about, where, you know, some kids are like the hare. They get to the finish line so much faster. Mine is the turtle. But yet it's slow and steady, and steady. And, you know, we just have to keep on going, right?
We got one of each.
You have one of each, so you're
We
watching.
have a turtle and a hare,
We
yeah.
got a turtle and a hare.
But the hare seems like she's really helping.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's awesome.
And I bet you she has learned so much from Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I attribute a lot of her advanced skills to the watching us and being right next to me the whole time I'm working with Charlie. Because when we were trying to encourage him to speak, you know, she was right there. You know, we were like, you know, moving our mouths, and she was seeing it all. And you know, and I think that's why she picked up on it. I mean, she was signing when we were trying to teach him to sign. And, you know, because she was at that early age, she was pre-verbal because she was under a year old. Like 6 to 8 months when she started signing, you know, because she did more all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were trying to teach him, and she was there, so she caught on to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, and just, I feel like she's learned a lot of patience and compassion. And that,
I think we've all learned that, right?
yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
probably the main thing, too, as far as changes in myself, is patience. And when I worked at a bank for 12 years before I had kids, and my manager always told me, don't have children, you don't have any patience.
Are you serious?
I mean, in a nice way.
Yeah, but now, and it's so funny because I remember first seeing you a few years ago, and my first thought was, she has so much wonderful energy, so much love. I can see her being I literally remember thinking this, the most patient mother. Like, I remember thinking that, you know, so, oh my goodness.
It was definitely a learned behavior.
Well, you know, you realize you have no control of the situation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for me at least,
Yeah.
you know, and I still have to remind myself that a lot. You know, I can't control what the outcome's going to be. I can't control how fast we're going to get,
Right.
you know, to
right.
that. Now, what are some changes you've seen in yourself?
Pretty much the patience. You know, pretty much a type A. Everything has to be kind of laid out on a schedule, very regimented, and you got to be more flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be more flexible, so it teaches you that everything doesn't always go according to plan.
Right. And yeah, we were married. It was actually when we came home from our 10th anniversary that I found out I was pregnant with Charlie.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, and we were together 2 years before that. So, I mean, we'd been together 12 years before we had kids. And we were creatures of habit. And, I mean, I had my routine. He had his routine.
So you've
You
been
throw
together 20,
kids into the mix, and it's like, whoa, where'd our life go? You know?
so you've been together, if I did my math right, 21 years?
Well, 20
Or 20 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Wow. So, okay, since you brought that up, let's just dive into that, right? So has this affected your marriage? Having children in general affects your
Right.
marriage, right?
Right.
But having a child with autism, has that affected your marriage?
At times, yeah. I mean, we
It's
definitely.
challenging.
What's the
had our
most challenging
challenges.
things?
Well, I think, and again, it's just a matter of perspective, and I guess, you know, wanting to live vicariously, you know, having experiences with your kids that you had as a child, wanting them to be able to experience that, not watching your friends and family go off to Disney, go camping and all those things. You know, we can't do that right now.
Right.
So, you know, that makes it challenging.
Yeah. Now, as a father, I imagine, because I can't speak on fathers because I'm not one, right? So, you know, how is it, I've talked to other dads, you know, how is it that it's your son, and not only your son, but your first son? How did that affect you when you first learned about the diagnosis?
She was onto something. I think I kept saying to myself inside, whatever it is, you know, we can kind of get over it. You know, that it's something that's manageable.
Yeah.
Because I had that type of personality with the type A. You know, it's just something that we can manage. It took a while to sink in.
Yeah. What was your first thought when you heard the word autism?
I was actually amazed and baffled because, I mean, we were pretty much put in the room and kind of disappointed at the same time because here we had these folks working with him, you know, once a week. They're professionals. They know all these things that we're talking about that are signs. And the word autism was not even mentioned. I even asked her, you know, does he have autism? And she's like, you know, she kind of skirted the question. And to actually sit in the room with a developmental pediatrician and him basically lay it on you, and, you know, I'm looking at the two people in the room like, you know, we've been doing this for how long? And we had to wait until he was 3
Yeah.
to basically say okay. And I mean, even at that point, I was still kind of slow to start educating myself because, I mean, until, you know, he was diagnosed, my experience with autism was Rain Man.
Right.
I mean, you know, when you sit there and go through them, you know, being born and all that, you're hoping that they're healthy and this and that. Autism,
Not even on the.
not even remotely on my mind. So, I mean, it was a shock.
Now, how are you right now?
Good.
What are your hopes and dreams for him today?
Right now, just one day at a time, letting him develop as he needs to develop, and we'll see what happens.
What's your biggest dream for Charlie?
What's my biggest dream? For him to have friends and to be able to have a life with
Yeah.
people in it and to be able to connect with the world around him.
Yeah. It's amazing how when our kids were first born, and I remember holding my son, it's like, is he going to be a baseball player? Is he going to be a football player? And right now, your biggest dream was, I want him to be connecting and have friends.
Right.
Right.
Which other people, especially our family members who may not be experiencing this, they really don't understand and appreciate sometimes, I don't think, those things that we really took for granted growing up.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and so I just think that's so amazing. And how's your relationship with Charlie been since you now play with him, I imagine, in a different way, right?
Yeah, it's better. It's
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah.
You know, because doing things like floor time, which, you know, how I perceived it, you know, here I am on the floor, you know, I'm grabbing a truck, I'm grabbing, you know, a ball or something like that, something that, you know, according to the DVD, you know, that's typical stuff that we should be playing. He has no interest in, so I'm, you know, constantly trying to get him engaged with me with something that he absolutely cares nothing about. You know, now with the Sunrise approach, seeing his motivation and the things that interest him, now we can get that interaction and connection because he's motivated.
Yeah.
So,
And it motivates you,
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Now, what is, like, the advice, or I guess, what's the secret to keeping your guys' marriage strong? Because you realize the statistics out there. It's like either 80 or 90% of people get divorced with children with autism. We have the highest rates of divorce, from what I've heard, than any other, you know, whether you call it disorder, disability, whatever they decide to call it this year, right? And so, you know, how is it that you guys are married together 20 years at this point?
Love, baby.
Yeah, it's love. No, it is. I mean,
And I'm sure you've had your struggles, right?
oh yeah.
Everybody does. But what's your secret?